Hey guys, today is May 31st, and I'm so sorry. I know y'all been begging for this video, although I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in this video, but I kind of wanted to skim the surface of a lot of y'all's questions. I've been getting questions on Instagram, I've been getting questions on email, I've got DMs from Instagram, Facebook, asking me to answer a couple of y'all questions. So I kind of want to go over a few things. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail just yet. I kind of want to have a more uniform, written down everything that we did to prepare to buy a home. Unfortunately, right now, I just got off of work, to be honest with y'all. Came home, cooked, straightened up, got the kids to bed, and here I am. So I'm just a bit exhausted, so I'm gonna try my best to, answer a few questions, and then, like I said, maybe tomorrow, hopefully, I can do a, better video from beginning to end to kind of help y'all out. So anyway, I got a couple of questions in regards to what builder we chose and what made us, choose the builder, and how was the process with the particular builder that we chose. So the builder that we chose is Weston Homes, and Weston Homes I knew nothing about in the beginning. Actually, I don't think we ever even seen a Weston home before, and well, we probably saw one but didn't know that it was Weston. And so one day out the blue, this is even before we got approved. We were, online looking. I wasn't as adamant as my husband was, looking online and stuff like that. I was more like, I want to wait to get approved before I start looking. I'm one of those people, I gotta see stuff before I get to the next step. Everybody's different, and that's okay. But I'm the kind of person, that's like me going to the store. If I know I don't have the money, why go to the store type deal. So I didn't want to go shopping for a home. You still, I was looking to see what they had out there, but I didn't want to go shopping for a home if first we wasn't qualified or if we wasn't approved for a certain amount. So one day, which I'll include this story too when the next video comes out about the whole process. But one day we're just out and about, and there was a new division that was being built. And well, actually a new street that was being built, and so we were like, there's a new street. We were traveling the street to go back and forth from the apartment to work, and so my husband was like, they got some new houses over there. There's a division. We're gonna go check it out one day. And I was like, yeah, I kind of put it off because, like I said, it wasn't like we were at that time we wasn't in a position to even be ready to move. And so I was like, whatever. So we, one day we just, decided to go buy these homes, and they were called model homes. And if y'all are unfamiliar, normally in a new division, they'll have these staged homes. And these staged homes are basically different models, different builders, where you can actually go look on the inside. It's furnished, it's decorated, just as you would walk into somebody's house, except it's like cleaner, neat. But you walk in and you get to experience, how it would be if you're in there. How much space it has. It has couches in there. It has everything in there, so you can kind of have a perspective of, what you're. I'm sorry, my alarm is talking. But it'll kind of give you a perspective of, what kind of house you'll be moving into and what kind of space you'll have. So anyway, we went to go look in, I think about 4 of the homes they had there, one in which I think was locked, or 2 of which were probably locked or didn't have a person there to look in. And so the first model we looked at, I I liked. I think kind of sort of fell in love with it. The only thing I didn't like about it was that it didn't have a laundry room, or the model I wanted didn't have a laundry room on the first floor. You know, when you're buying a house, you have to think about the future. You're thinking about, you know, not this year, not today, not in 1 year. You got to think of every possibility in every scenario. So I thought about, number one, if this is going to be our forever home, I do not want to be having to go upstairs to wash clothes. I think that's an issue. You know, we have to get old one day. One day our knees are not going to be as, you know, operational as they are now, you know, and eventually our kids are going to go to college. You know, they're going to move out. Who are going to get to go up there and get the laundry? Who's going to, you know, it's just too much. Plus, it's going to cost more money to get the washroom downstairs eventually. So I just didn't like that idea. Plus, if you have it upstairs and it starts leaking, then guess what? That's more cost. You know, it's just a lot of cons to having a washroom upstairs. There are pros. To each his own. If you like it upstairs because it's easier for your kids now that they're older to use the washing machine, so be it. But I look out for me, and I'm gonna be living here, you know, for the rest of my life type deal, not my children. So after I kind of looked at that measure, pretty much every house had the laundry room upstairs, except I think like 2 different models over here. And one of the models we looked at with the laundry room downstairs, it was just laid out horribly at the top. My husband kind of wanted some kind of area where you can kind of see over the stairs and stuff like that. And I know that one didn't really have much of an appeal inside or outside. It was just kind of looked like an apartment from the outside. It just didn't look right. Anyway, let's hurry up with this because I have other questions to answer. So we looked at a few of them, and then there was this house here, and it wasn't this particular model, but it was the same builder. And it was called, our model is called the Albany. The model we went to go look at is called the Sparks, I think, yeah. So anyway, we went to go look in there, and the only thing I didn't like about it is that it was set up where the eating area where you would eat like your breakfast and stuff was in between the kitchen and the living room, but it was all open. I didn't like that so much. And so forth. And so anyway, I didn't care for it. So but I loved how open it was and how grand it looked, and it did have the rotunda as well that y'all seen on a previous video. So it had a lot of wow factors, and so that's what made me start shopping online through the builder, but through other models. Okay, so that's kind of how we started the whole Weston looking, you know, like searching, you know, whatever you want to call it. So that's just a tad bit of that story. Like I said, you know, there's more to it. Someone asked me, was this builder an easy builder to go through? And to be honest with you, from my perspective, is that we didn't really deal too much with the builder. You dealt with your lender, you dealt with your the sales manager, you know, for the property, but for the builder itself, we didn't really deal with them until the very end. And what I mean by that is that we would talk to the sales manager that represents Weston Homes and tell him, you know, hey, what's going on with this, or hey, what's going on with that, ask all kind of questions. And then he would come back, you know, and give us the answer after he didn't went and talk to the builder. So he was like the mediator between us and the builder. Now towards the end of the process, when we were kind of getting like, look, we were ready to move, our lease is up in the apartment, chop chop, let's go. It's been a month, y'all hadn't done anything on the house, what's going on? Because if y'all remember correctly, I think I told y'all we would have some news for y'all in March. And then the date got pushed back to April. Well, in between that time, we were like getting on the builders to hurry it up type stuff, you know, like come on with the program. So I'm gonna be honest with you, from my perspective, I feel like it wasn't a horrible experience. It wasn't a bad experience. There was some parts where I was kind of like, but it wasn't per se the builder, it was the people working for the builders, you know, it was the contractors and stuff. So I can't really talk bad about Weston in that perspective. or whatnot. There was another question, and again, I'm just kind of throwing this out here. It's not a really uniform video, I'm sorry. And again, it's like 9 something probably at night. Yep, 9:22 at night. So forgive me, but I'm trying to hit most of the questions just to kind of answer them as they were coming to me. Also, I was asked about, with the school loan stuff, someone had asked me and said, someone said if it wasn't for school loans, I feel like we would be in our dream home type stuff, you know, like that right there on its own is a whole story, you know. And my advice on that is, because I got advice on it, so I'm gonna give y'all the advice. When you're getting ready to buy a home, or you are looking to buy a home, or you're getting your finances together, the first thing you need to do is make sure that you're in some kind of a payment agreement, payment arrangement. It doesn't matter what kind of arrangement you're in. If it's income driven, if it's just, you know, some kind of a regular payment plan, make sure that your loans are not just sitting there. Excuse me. Make sure that your loans are not just accumulating, you know, or sending you out letters telling you, hey, we're going to garnish your wages if you don't pay. Now, if you're in that much of a default, it's going to hurt you in the long run. Or if you don't have some type of a payment plan, it's going to hurt you. When we were going through different realtors and trying to find the right lender and stuff, we ran into that problem where they told us, hey, your school loans, blah, 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 blah. Went to the next person, hey, this is what you do to your school loans. Set up a payment arrangement, you know, because if you don't have that, what's going to happen is when they get ready to calculate all of your debt to income ratio, they're going to create an amount, okay? They're going to create an amount. So let's say if you had $50,000 worth of school loans, yeah, it happens, y'all. $50,000 worth of school loans, and let's say that you could have had a payment arrangement where you're paying maybe $100 or $100 or $200 a month, and if you don't set that up and you go and try to apply for a house, the lenders, they will say, you know what, we think that that right there can fluctuate maybe about $500 a month. And here you are, that money can be put into, you know, what money can go towards your your mortgage payment. So you don't want to give them the opportunity to figure out your payment for you. You want to go ahead and have that done. That was like one of the biggest blessings ever, is to run into this guy that, oh my God, like everything he said sounded wrong except for this. This is the one thing he helped us with. And I kind of feel like, you know, sometimes God maybe puts you in different places so that way you can get the information that you need. You know, when I say my prayers at night, I always pray that God lead, you know, me, us, whatever, to the right people. You know, let us meet all the right people that's going to, you know, help us out, benefit us as well as we benefit them. And so, you know, I feel like this person came right at the right time to tell us, hey, set up a payment arrangement. So as soon as he said that, I started doing that, okay? This was way before we even got approved, y'all. So I want to say maybe about 2 to 3 months before we even got approved. And I got on the phone with with Navient. I got on the phone with Fed Loans. Y'all know them. Y'all know them companies. And I went ahead and made my payment arrangements. And the arrangement is only good normally for a year, and then you have to renew. And so it literally took what 8 months, 7, 8 months for us to, you know, finally close on everything and get in the house. But it didn't make my year to renew, so that way they won't say, oh, well, you making more money now, so now this or now that. You see what I'm saying? So you have to be proactive when it comes to buying a home. You know, make sure you have all your duckies in a row before you get started, to some extent. Like I said, I'll get more into that later. But definitely right now, if you can, call those loan companies that you have with your school loans, make payment arrangements, make them send you documentation that you're on a payment arrangement, because it's going to benefit you. And you would have to show proof that you are on some type of a, you know, payment plan, no matter what kind, if it's income driven. You know, say you're not making that much, you know, say you know, have other expenses, they count all of that in. If you're working somewhere, you might get a discount. So just make sure you call them, stay on them. Don't make it look like you're not making your payments on time with them, because they will report it, and then of course you'll be stuck in a rut where you gotta wait a whole other year to apply to get a house, okay? Another question that was asked was, how did we save our money? Like, what kind of how was it worded? How do we come up with a financial plan or a savings plan? Someone said it was kind of hard for them. It's hard for them to save money and stuff like that. Well, at the time of us living at the apartment, by the grace of God, my husband was able to pay everything that needs to be taken care of. And what I did was, every check that I got from me working, I just put in savings. So we would live off of the money that he would make, and then every check that I got, I would just put in savings. That was our plan. We also had a plan where we would try our best to not eat out. We would try our best to not buy anything if it was not for the house. You know, and the thing is, like, we didn't start buying for the house until we had the exact amount that we needed for the down payment. That's another story. So, I mean, not down, down payment. You really would have to sit down, you know, with your spouse, or if you're, you know, single, trying to buy a home, you have to see, you know, where you can save money. I'm one of them people, I can go without a lot of stuff. You know, I'm not one of those people that have to go and purchase clothes. I'm not one of the people that have to go and buy food. I'm not one of the people that just have to go and buy stuff. Like, I'm not that person. I will go without for a very long time. If I want something really bad, I won't spend any money. Like, I'm really tight with money, you know. And I feel like when you want something big, large, or something you have your heart set on, you really have to put your mind to it and say, you know what, this is what I want. This is what I need to give up. If you have a bad habit, a bad spending habit, you know, people do different things, you know. Smoking habit, drinking habit, buying clothes habit, gambling habit. You know, some people are into cars, some people are just, you know, it's just one thing after another, and you have to figure out where you can take money from to save. And when I say save, we literally was like, okay, act like it's not there. You know, if, let's say for instance, we wanted to go and do something else and we didn't pay all the bills and we got whatever left over. Oh, we got this left over, let's go ahead and put that into the savings, you know. Oh, let's look at it like we don't have it. You have to put it in there and you have to forget it. Like, as hard as it was, when you start seeing them commas, when you start seeing them zeros, and when you start getting that good old interest added to that account, you're like, man, he's like, do you really want to go buy a house? You want to go shop? You know, I'm just playing. But, you know, you have to be steadfast. You have to be strict. You know, you have to be strict on yourself. So again, I can't talk for your situation. You know, I don't know what how you can save money. You know, if you're a person that you know, if you're with your spouse or you're with someone and they can if you can see they can pay all of the bills, and then every check that you get or everything extra, like if you do overtime, anything extra, put in that account. You know, again, everybody's situation is different. At that time, like I said, we were just very blessed to where my check was just not needed. You know, it wasn't, you know, and I mean, every time I got paid, transfer, you know, and it was done from from September all the way until the day we closed. The day that we closed, I think I got paid again. So bam, you know, and then I think the day we closed or the day after, something like that, you know, my husband, he got paid again, and it was like, okay, more money, more power. And then when you move in a house, I don't know if y'all know, but that first month you don't pay. Normally, if you close towards the middle or end of the month, you don't have to pay the following month. So that was a saving. You get to save more money after, you know, after you move in. So that was a question I had. And something else. It was so many questions, y'all. I'm so sorry. But there were some very good questions. And like I said, I feel like when I go through the beginning to end process, it's going to answer all of y'all's questions. But I just wanted to kind of put this out there to answer a few of y'all questions, you know, tonight. And then hopefully tomorrow I can do the rest and just kind of go through the whole thing or whatnot. And that'll be on a separate video, of course, so that will come later. But anyway, again, I thank y'all so much. If you haven't, press the like button, press the like button. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Again, if you have any certain videos that you'd like for us to do, see, let us know in the comments below. That way we can make sure that we're, you know, still getting y'all attention and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and shower finally, praise God, and go put my feet up, y'all. I am exhausted, and I will holler at y'all later. Bye. It's silver, it's tan, it has like a few light and dark gray. Let me see if I can get it closer.